Hey everybody, how's it going? So if you didn't see the last video that I posted, I am basically challenging myself to listen to 500 albums that are brand new to me. I am not forcing myself to stick with any specific genres. It's a bit crazy, but it's kind of too late for me to change my mind. So with that being said, so far I've gotten down to 30. Even the things that I talked about in my previous video, I kind of sort of do want to make individual videos for, so stick around. I'm gonna be doing a lot of videos here. The very first album that I listened to for this challenge was Rose in the Dark by Cleo Soul. Cleo Soul is right up my alley when I need that cleansing feeling when it comes to music. If I want to feel kind of rejuvenated, I feel like Cleo Soul is a good artist to visit for that. And that's definitely how I felt. I gave the album a re-listen earlier today just to get my general thoughts down from my first listen, and oh, what an amazing album. Yeah, I thought One Love had a really cool drum pattern. I thought the harmonies in the song were really good at setting the mood for this song and as the intro to the album. Why don't you? I've had the song downloaded on my phone for a good while now. It's been years and I've been obsessed with that song ever since the first time that I heard it. And that's why I'm kind of ashamed that it took me this long to check the album out, but I'm here. The song feels very cinematic and very ethereal at the same time, but I'm telling you, the chords on the chorus, it feels like I am floating on a cloud. It's one of those songs where it feels just right to put it on in the car, as like the sky is all sunny and just full of clouds as you're riding by. The bass line is sickening as well. She makes it feel like you're in the room with her and her partner as they're having these conversations and sharing these thoughts with one another. Young Love feels like candy. It's a very sweet and soothing song. And the message of the song really resonates with me. It's kind of one of those where it's based around speaking positive affirmations around yourself. And this is the type of music that is good to hear every once in a while, just as kind of a spiritual pick-me-up. Rewind, I feel like, is a good example of how this album as a whole makes a wonderful use of its instruments and whatnot. The minimalist production really caters to the vibe that Cleo has going on, and I think that's really, really cool. Rose in the Dark gave me Jackson 5 vibes. It feels very old school, and I really enjoyed it. When I'm in Your Arms, the intro was so sensual. Oh my god. I freaking love the intro to this song. The setup was beautiful, and it's a very soul cleansing song, just like a lot of others here. Sideways had those runs going. Her voice is just, it hugs you really, and I think she's one of those artists where you can tell she's very dedicated to what she wants to say in her music, not just the type of music that she wants to make, but she's very dedicated to how I think she wants the listener to feel. It feels very genuine and authentic, and it feels like a good experience that she's building. And she's magic, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Cleo is just magic. Sideways did make me wonder what a song with her and Solange would sound like. I really miss Solange. I'm still waiting for another album. These previous two that she dropped, just A+++++++. Feed us again, please. Butterfly, I thought, was a great song for being creative. In my last video, I mentioned that while I was listening to this song for the first time, I was legitimately sketching a picture of a butterfly, and I did not read the track list or anything ahead of time. So that was kind of a cool moment to me. She has some really beautiful messages in all of her songs. I wrote down in my notes that it feels like she's a wise spiritual music mom, which I think is pretty accurate. Sure of myself. I really, really like how straightforward she is when she's telling her partner what they need to hear. And it also makes everything come across as very relatable, especially when she's singing about relationship trouble. I Love You is so beautiful that it hurts. That's literally all I put for the song, because it's on the shorter side. But Her Light, I love the melody with her singing and the piano just going. It's collabs like that, and it's a very easygoing song, I thought. And yeah, the album overall I felt was very perfect for the fall weather, especially with it being kind of gloomier outside, but it also is very calming weather. So I think the album with this time of year really fits very well. It's an easy album to listen to when you need that sort of cleansing moment to yourself. I think in my last video, I described the album as very cleansing and healing, and I still think that even more so on the second re-listen. It's just a very good spiritual, let me hug you, pick up type of album, and I really enjoyed it. I know when I feel like I just need a refresh and a restart, this is an album that I'm definitely going to put on. I remember seeing a TikTok video of Cleo performing in a room, and first of all, the way the room was set up was so beautiful because she was in the middle of the room, and I think people were like seated around her. I don't know why I'm doing this, but people were just seated all around, and everyone was softly singing in that room to her music. And just thinking about it gives me chills. The fact that Cleo can build that type of atmosphere, it's a room full of people that probably don't know each other at all. I just love things like that. Like when people come together for moments like that to bond over music, doesn't matter who you are, where you came from, whatever. When there's a bonding moment like that in a full room full of people, that's why I love concerts so much, because it's the coolest fucking thing in the world to me. She is that type of person to build that sort of atmosphere, and that's something that I would love to experience in person, honestly. Even then, just watching the video, it was so good to see. Amazing. Let's go over my favorites, because I star everything that I love. My favorites were Why Don't You, Young Love, Rose in the Dark, When I'm in Your Arms, Butterfly, and Her Light. I freaking love this album. And it came out in 2020. What a time for that to come out. Like I mentioned at the start of the video, I'm going to be popping in to share my thoughts kind of a lot with this 500 albums challenge that I'm doing. So I'm going to be here. I'm going to be consistent too. Recommend me some albums to check out too, because I've got a lot of ground to cover.